Welcome on in, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Post-Race Conversations. Once again, Michael Massie Jr. the third, and yours truly, Bryan Nolen. Once again, we are remote. Last week, we were behind a Victory Lane banner in, well, you guessed it, Victory Lane at Atlanta Motor Speedway. This time, like yesterday, Massie is in his living room celebrating a Packers win over the Colts. I am in my office celebrating a Jets win over the Tennessee Titans. And oh yeah, the NASCAR race at Watkins Glen, in which Chris Buescher decided to surprise the playoff field and win for the first time of 2024. And not have any playoff drivers advance to the next round with a win in their belt. Mr. Michael Massie Jr. III, how surprised are you that we saw the number 17 car end his day in Victory Lane?
I'm actually not that surprised because, look, Chris Buescher is really good at road courses. He's been close so many times. So now, did I think that like one of your usual suspects, like a Kyle Larson, a William Byron, a Tyler Reddick, one of those guys or Martin Truex Jr., who I picked to win and did not do me well there today? Did I think it was going to be one of those guys? Sure. But Buescher's always there in the picture. And once the chaos broke out, I knew we were going to get a funky winner. But Buescher keeps it from being too funky of a winner. Really good performance. I mean, he went head to head with who many are, last year this time, people were proclaiming SVG was going to win every Shane Van Gisbergen was going to win every single road course. It seemed like Buescher went head to head with him today in what I'm calling the sequel of Marcus Ambrose versus Brad Keselowski, because RFK car versus, well, not an Aussie, but or Tasmanian, whatever Ambrose is,
a down under,
a down under person, a Kiwi, a New Zealander.
There you go. There you go.
The sequel to that, and Buescher in the Brad Keselowski machine come out on top this time.
Now, before we got to that point, obviously, we all saw the carnage, multiple overtimes, just like we see at a road course whenever something happens with under 10 laps to go and it causes a caution. Every sense of normalcy decides to go out of every person's brain, and they decide to be absolute numbnuts. With that being said, I feel like something has to change because all we're doing is making more and more damage to race cars. Massie, what can be done to not have this happen and where we see drivers just race out of their minds and become idiots?
The second we saw with Harrison Burton that had the flat tire, which did that even need to be a caution?
I mean, there was some stuff on the track. So then again, there was a tire on pit road and people were currently going through pit road. So I don't know what the hell caution is anymore. I haven't for like 2 years now because sometimes they call it, sometimes they don't. Sure, we'll call it. Nah, we won't. Who cares? I don't know.
But yeah, I knew the second that a caution came out with less than 10 to go, that it was going to be just like yesterday's Xfinity Series race, where it was going to break down into chaos. It's the road courses especially where it seems. I remember like the Indy road course a few years ago, Coda last year. It's just, it devolves into chaos at the end because here's the thing. Winning your in is great. Overtime is great. Put them together, it's chaos. Because people just lose their mind. They think they'll have another opportunity, so they just send it in there, see what happens, and it's just ridiculous. I just think, for one, get rid of the double file restarts on road courses. You can do it everywhere else. Get rid of it on road courses. That helps solve some of the problem. And I don't know, I'm getting more and more anti-overtime. I know we won't get rid of it, but I just is that fun? Was it fun to sit there? It was a good finish, but is it fun to watch all these race cars get torn up and have an extra hour added to the event? Like, the window was 2 hours for today, and they overshot that by a mile. It was ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure they shot that over by about 45 minutes at least. And then, honestly, shout out to NBC for continuing with the post race after they way overshot their window. So, I mean, we wouldn't see another we wouldn't see another broadcast partner I'm not going to mention, but they televised the first half of the race do that. But that is just me.
I'm so sorry for those that were expecting to watch an episode of Law and Order for the 37th time.
Listen, I'm a big fan of Law and Order. I just want to see something live first. Now, if there's nothing going on and I decide to turn it on, sure. But I want to see some post-race coverage. So shout out to NBC for doing a fantastic job with that. With that also being said, 2 races down, one last race in the round of 16. Obviously, Joey Logano is locked in. You got Christopher Bell. How about Austin Cindric, Alex Bowman, and Daniel Suarez? 3 of the drivers people thought were going to be eliminated. They're 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Below the cut line, Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr. 6 under for Denny Hamlin, 12 under for Mr. Bad Brad, and then 14 under for Martin Truex Jr., the 3rd. Ty Gibbs is +6 with Chase Briscoe +6, and then it looks like William Byron, I think, has about a 19-point cushion, so he looks to be fine. So it looks like it's going to be 11 through 16 trying to battle for 2 spots. What are we going to be seeing at Bristol, and could we see a big name get eliminated after they enter Thunder Valley?
Yeah, I see 25 for Byron.
Okay, my bad. Apparently, I don't really do math really well. I usually talk for a living, not do math. I shout out to my wife, who's accountant. She does the math in our family.
Well, I didn't do math. I just read. I know that's kind of hard too.
I'm on our friend Dustin Albino's employer, jski.com, and they don't have the minus things here. So I had to do some math, and well, it obviously did not end up well. But I digress. Massie, continue.
Hey, in your defense, I'm looking at the NASCAR app. That's probably wrong too. So
true.
But I digress as well. You mentioned what big names would probably miss it. I mean, I've been saying all along, Martin Truex Jr. is just, he was my pick for the win today. He started up front row, did nothing. He was holding up the field for a lot of that first run. And he has no momentum. It just seems like he's already on to next year, which, means getting out of the car full time. And then I'm kind of thinking Brad Keselowski is going to miss. Ooh. It's only 12 points, but he'd have to have a pretty good day at Bristol. I don't know. I just feel like I haven't seen it from him lately. Harrison Burton, he had his fun. Denny Hamlin, though, I feel like Denny Hamlin was I know it's weird to say this. He was in a lap 1 wreck. He was in another wreck later on, had a horrible day, but I feel like he was the biggest winner, only escaping 6 points below the cut line because he's had 2 horrendous races and he's only 6 points out. And we're going to a track. What did he do the last 2 times we went to Bristol, Bryan? I'm trying to remember.
I'm pretty sure he ended up going up that big ramp into Victory Lane where he got a big old nice sword and celebrated with a championship, not a championship, with a trophy and a checkered flag. Is that correct?
Yeah, champion of Bristol.
There you go. Yeah, correct.
Back-to-back wins at Bristol, so he's pretty good there. And I wouldn't count him out. Those guys, Ty Gibbs, Chase Briscoe, they got to be a little worried. They only got 6 points. Something happens, they could be right on out of it. But yeah,
I mean, it's highly, highly unlikely. But Christopher Bell could be the only JGR car still standing after next week. I know it's a long shot, but if Ty Gibbs something happens, Denny something happens, Truex something happens, 3 JGR cars could be eliminated. Something to watch as we head to Thunder Valley. For all the latest on Watkins Glen, check out our articles by Mr. Phil Alloway as well as Daniel McFadden on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Frontstretch. And then the season finale of IndyCar was this weekend in Nashville. Our guys, Alex Gintz, Christopher DeHardy, also have all the latest from Lebanon, Tennessee. Once again, Frontstretch.com. Massie, plug your podcast as well as whatever you're doing. Happy hour this upcoming Tuesday. It's going to be fun. What are you guys going to be talking about?
Oh, yeah. We got a surprise guest. I don't know if we can say yet who's going to be, but tune in this Tuesday 7:30 p.m. on the Front Stretch YouTube page. If you can't make it that time, we'll have it. It'll still be on the YouTube page, but you can also listen to it on the Front Stretch podcast feed. And yeah, that's pretty much all you got for me for now.
Hey, that's going to be fun. I'll be tuned in. Also, bringing the heat with Bryan, Nolen, Daniel Hemrick going to be on the podcast this upcoming Wednesday. It's going to be fun, so stay tuned for all the latest on frontstretch.com and the Frontstretch podcast networks. Massie, one last thing, brother?
I do have an article of Parker Retzlaff coming out this week. I apologize, Parker, for forgetting about that. But yeah, I have an art. I interviewed Parker Retzlaff, and yeah, you can read about it, or you can watch the interview too. If you're not the reading type, it'll all be on frontstretch.com. Video will be on Frontstretch YouTube page.
For Michael Massie Jr. III, I am Bryan Timothy Dale Nolen. Thank you so much. Next week, Stephen Stump, Trenton Worsham's got all the latest coverage from Bristol. They'll take it away there from our remote studios. We will talk with you next time.
This is Custom Patch Hats. But what makes us custom? Well, that actually begins with you. We're just bringing your unique vision to life. No knockoffs, no lookalikes. Your design is one of a kind. We know hats, we know design, and we know quality. The proof? It's in our production. Hand-stitched with precision and care, with brands you know and trust. A one-of-a-kind patch deserves a one-of-a-kind treatment, all the way to your doorstep. It's how we keep it custom.
Stephen Stump of Frontstretch.com here. Come back for more great racing videos, and if you like us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.